What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. If y'all didn't see the last video, we started on this bumper here. It's the base of it's pretty much done. I've been playing with this a little off camera. Decided to just go exactly like the plateau fab for the most part. So just 1.5 inch tubing, just like the bumper, and then some 1.5 inch angle iron. And it's gonna be kind of hard to use this faceplate. I should be able to make it work. I've already flattened it out because it did have a bend right here. Because in the Lucky 7 mount, the radiator lays back, so it's not as tall. It's kind of weird. So it's gonna be this frame is gonna be a lot taller than what this faceplate is. So far, I got it notched out, measured out, and I've made this plate and just tacked it on for now. It's a little thin. It's just sheet metal. I'll probably add some to it to strengthen it up. And then from there, I just got to make the bracket that attaches to the top to here. So I have not done that yet. So right now I just need to get this tacked up square to the size I need it, get the radiator set in there, and then make that bracket. I have also went ahead and took all the back plastics off. The back bumper, if you are curious, this is also 1.5 inch tubing. That's why I did the same tubing for the front. Hopefully in this video, my plan is to get the bumper done because I need to make new holes in the plastics for the radiator hoses. And since we're repainting it, I don't want to do that later. I'd rather do that before it's painted. So I have to leave this on to mock the rest of it up and get that done. But as far as what I hope to get done this video is pretty much get that box done for the radiator, get it mounted, get the holes put in, and pretty much disassemble the rest of it. So, I mean, that's going to include, you know, handlebars, all that stuff up there, front fenders, the whole front headlight housing, the fascia, wheels, tires need to come off the wheels, shocks, all the suspension, floorboards. So I have to get it up in the air. I'm not going to take it down to bare frame. I would really like to. I simply do not have the time to take it down to bare frame. Since I'm getting out of the Army, my first move actually starts in a month. So I'll be back home in North Carolina for a couple of months. I'm going to try to make it to the Mud Bash event. So when this thing is done, if you want to see it in person, hopefully I should be there. I don't see any reason why I shouldn't be able to make it, but you never know. So I want to get this thing done in about a month from today so that I can take it back home in March. Pretty much, so I mean, the last riding, or the only riding video for this year will probably be Mud Bash. We might do some more, I don't know. I've got to reset my whole life back in North Carolina pretty much this year. But this thing is going to be, I'm not kidding you, it's going to be one of a kind. We decided on a color. I'm not going to give it away, but these were all of my options here. So, just to give y'all an idea, you got white, blue, gray, silver, and then this is supposed to be, it says golden, but it's more like a tan. This was just for a color reference. I'm not going to use this because it's like really thin. It's not like actual paracord. Yeah, decided on 2 colors. It's not going to be 2 of these, but at least one of these will be in there. And I really think y'all are going to be blown away. It took me quite a few months to decide on a color. I wasn't sure. I was going to do all white and gold to match the Cummins, but white's just really, really difficult to pull off, to do it right and to make it look good, and then also keeping it clean. So It won't be white, so we can take that one out, obviously. But one of these colors will be the secondary color. I got a lot of work to do. It's really difficult to film this tedious work when I'm trying to figure it out, but I'm probably just gonna put it in a montage, get my music going, hopefully crank this thing out, and then give y'all an update here in a little bit. So I now have this bracket made, and I wished I'd used, found this scrap metal outside. I wish I'd used this for this plate. I don't know if I want to redo it or not, because this is a lot thinner sheet metal. This one's a lot thicker, so it's a lot stronger. I actually had to cut a relief groove in it to bend it, and then I just tack welded it back until I got the right bend in it. Way. I'll have to make the holes up here, mount it here, and then see where it sits here, and then choose where I want my holes on the top, because this has to be bolted. It can't be welded like this one, because if you weld this one in, you'll never get the radiator out. So this one has to be bolted. So I need to measure these holes, put the bolts in them, line it up here, pick where I want the holes here, drill them out, and then I'll have to drill it out into the angle iron. Alright guys, so what's probably been only a few minutes for y'all has been quite a few hours for me. So I went ahead, I redid this lower bracket with the same material for the upper, and then I rib nutted the top just so you wouldn't have to worry about a nut on the back side of it. I'm gonna put it all together and show y'all. Everything is still tacked. I'm actually about to fully weld it up. Now obviously I made these way longer than they need to be. I'm gonna get it all welded in place. It's actually perfectly square, surprisingly enough. Kind of surprised myself sometimes. But I'll end up just cutting it off wherever I want to. I'll probably just pick a measurement and measure from the top to there, and then same with bottom. But it basically, it replicates a plateau fab. And then for the, I'm trying to do this with one hand, the bracket that goes on the top, right, because your radiator will go in from the back side and then come forward. I'll have to pre-attach this to the radiator, and then it'll slide on. And then I was gonna put rib nuts here, but I actually just welded the nuts on the back, so you don't have to worry about trying to fight getting a wrench behind there or whatever. to take it off. So this thing will actually be really, really easy to work on. I'm very happy with the way it's coming out. But yeah, it's really difficult to film this because I'm not gonna go and turn the camera on and off and on and off the whole time. So I just been letting it go, and my phone keeps dying, so I have to go plug it up, and then I'll do a little bit of stuff off camera. So I apologize in advance for not showing every little thing, but it's a lot of work, especially when you don't know exactly what you're doing. All my measurements are just kind of measurements I came up with, other than obviously the mounting holes, but it's coming together pretty well. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in here, show y'all what it looks like. It's pretty solid. All right, hopefully y'all can see me well. So you have your radiator, your fan shroud will already be attached to it, just like usual. And then the rib nuts are for these guys back here. And these holes are so big in this fan shroud, it gives you a lot of adjustment if need be. And then should just be able to set that down in those holes, and then it just slides perfectly right on top. Yeah, I hate fighting nuts when they're in a spot where you can barely get a wrench. So I like using rib nuts or just welding them where they need to go. And that's it. That thing is in there. Super, super strong. I mean, it's literally not going anywhere. Yep, everything's still tacked. I gotta weld it all up. Well, like I said, you can't weld this top plate on because then you literally cannot get this out of here because these ears are so tall. And I didn't want to make it taller than I needed to. Let me show y'all with the Lucky 7 faceplate. So I don't know if I'm going to use it or not. I can make it work. What I'll have to do is weld tabs on the back of this and probably down these with rib nuts. But this thing basically, I mean, it literally couldn't be a snugger fit. It fits right in there. Yep, perfect. I was going to want to try to build it to where the plate would overlap these. But as you can see, the way that the radiator sits in this type of box, it's way bigger than the Lucky 7 because it just lays back. It's kind of, the bracket that holds the radiator is built into the bumper, and then you have the box that just kind of goes over top of it. Yeah, with this being rib nutted on, it's gonna be super easy to just take a drill and just pull your bolts out, and then you can wash your radiator out real easily if you need to. So I'm pretty excited about it. All right, guys, it's a new day. This is taking me a lot longer than I thought, and I know this video probably seems spotty, but it's really hard to keep up recording, keeping my phone charged, and just, I'm figuring this out as I go. But I'm thinking I might make my own just regular mesh faceplate, kind of like Plateau Fab, because, I mean, this won't look bad. It's just going to be a lot of tabs. I got my caps marked out on this piece of steel here. And then it took me a while to find the plasma cutter, but I'm missing the 30 amp plug for it. So I'm probably gonna use a hole saw. I know it's gonna put a pilot hole in the middle, but I can just weld it up and grind it down because these are just gonna cap off. Oh shoot. Those are just gonna cap off the top and the bottom of these tubes. And then I'm just gonna grind it down flush because it's not nothing structural. But yeah, I got to cap off the tops, and then I got to make tabs to mount it on the bumper. Well, I'm basically going to do it exactly like Plateau Fab, just to kind of save some time and not try to design my own way of mounting it. I mean, their way works well. They've been doing it for many years, so can't really go wrong with it. But yeah, tab, 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 tab. And then I got some 1 inch by 1/4 inch flat strap here that I'll use for the links going from the top of the mount down to the back of the bumper. All right, so I got one welded on. I had to be careful and just tack it because it's so thin, but all this is gonna get grinded off. It's just gonna be nice and flush. So I'm not really too worried about how it looks. And then I got the hole filled in. So this is what it looks like. I'll grind it up. I have a little pinhole here and a little pinhole here that I'm gonna touch up and grind it back down, but I think it turned out pretty good. All right guys, so I've done a lot off camera just because I've been spending the last couple hours trying to figure out how I'm going to, I mean, I know how I'm gonna mount it, but like how to make these tabs, the dimensions of them, how tall they need to be. And I ended up just cutting them out of the 1 inch flat stock that I got. So I made these ones here just tacked in. Right now they're just tacked right here. So I made 2 of those identical, and then I made 2 of these identical, and I have it somewhat marked where I need them. Right now they're going to be on the insides, so I have R for radiator mount and then the actual mount. So this needs to go somewhere in that location. It's hard for me, like I know where I want the radiator to sit, but it's hard for me to hold it by myself with these mounted and get it level, because it needs to come, these need to roll forward some in order to give you some room to slide it back or tilt it back because of the snorkel horn. But I don't want it too far down because then it covers the BRP logo. I know that's a little OCD, but I mean, maybe I'll end up covering it, maybe I won't. But right now, I'm waiting on a second set of hands to help me hold this up level and try to get these brackets tacked on. And then once I get those on, then the radiator is pretty much just sitting up here, and then I can adjust the angle that I want. I'll make the tabs. I need to put tabs up here for it to go from here, and then I'll have to make more tabs to go here, which will probably be a lot shorter than these, just for the looks. These kind of have to be a little bit taller to get it away. I did get all of these done. They all look really good. They're not like perfectly level by any means. I can see that one has a little bit of a tilt. And then I have my center lines marked out so that I can kind of eyeball it, the center of the snorkel, and then the center of the fascia down here in the bumper. All right guys, I've really been kind of sucking at filming this, but that's just because I'm literally trying to figure this out. I have it, it's done. It's not like 100%, I'd say it's 95%. So finally got some help to get these welded on. They were burned in all the way. Those are done. And then I literally just finished making the links. They're only tacked on, but I mean, they're pretty symmetrical. And then I also learned that I built this just big enough to where I can undo the bolts in the radiator here and pull the whole radiator out the front to where I never even have to take this off, which is super nifty. These aren't very tight right now. They're just hand tight. Plate, almost level, but I think it turned out pretty good. Pretty much made myself a $1,400 bumper for, I don't know, I think I got like 40 bucks into this out of my own money. All this metal was my buddy's scrap metal. I will definitely say it was not easy. I wasted about 15 feet for this piece here, this main piece. It took me, that's one 5-foot piece. It took me 4 tries to get it right. All the scrap pieces are under there. A lot of the ones from where I mainly felled these outside bins. I just cut these out and used them here. This one y'all saw in the first video on this, I actually had to remake it, and it's still not perfect. It's still over a little bit more than this one, but I mean, you really can't tell. I thought about welding something here to hang a D-ring, but I don't know. I think I'm just gonna leave it alone. I might make a little 550 core tie just to hang the hook or something. But yeah, I'll get the radiator in it and then I'll show y'all. So, add my holes. I'll watch it not work. This down. Got plenty of room. You got a socket and extension in here. And then the hose clears perfectly. I did make sure to remember to take that into consideration for these brackets. So yeah, I made sure I took that into consideration for these brackets, because this radiator does have to sit back a little bit. If you can barely notice it. Well, maybe you can actually notice it. It slightly leans back, and I did that on purpose just so this can't rub there. I mean, it's gonna have downward weight pulling it down. I'll have to make a new hole there. But guys, I think for me not knowing what I'm doing and just figuring it out along the way, I mean, it can be done. And I still have the factory. I made sure I kept this, the factory plate that goes here, because on the Lucky 7 bumper, you don't need it. That's built into it. But I made sure I kept it all these years, and I figured I might want to change the bumper. Yeah, it's literally almost exact. I mean, it's exactly like a plateau fab, but I built it. I was gonna put some tube here, but I think it looks good the way it is. It's not too much, and to be honest, I didn't feel like dealing with bending more tube and figuring out the degrees for the notches, and it's a headache. I mean, this is literally taking me forever, but it's so worth it. I think it turned out so good. All right, guys, so it's like a week later, and I decided to go ahead and make the Lucky 7 faceplate that they cut me out work. I did go buy a piece of sheet metal, but it was really expensive. It was $85, and the whole idea of this is to not spend a lot of money. So I took that back, and I found a way to make this one work. So it's on here now. So this will all be filled in with some body filler, like very little. So I found a piece of angle iron that's literally the same thickness, and I just extended the top and the bottom 1.5 inches, and then I added a 1/4 inch on the sides, and that worked out really well. And then also I riv nutted the back so that you don't have to try to fight for a nut in the back. You just take an impact driver and just pull all these out. So these two in the middle are actually not holding, is not mounting it to it. Here, let me see. So you can see back there. So I did that way. I was gonna weld a tab here, but honestly it's pretty solid just with these up here and down here. But I did that because it just makes it a lot easier. So if I want to take this off to clean the radiator, all I have to do is undo these 6 bolts and the mesh will stay with the plate. I'll take it off here in a minute and show y'all, but I think that is the most logical way to go about it. And the whole reason I wanted to build this bumper was because that one is really strong. I love it. It looks really good, and I mean, that thing can take down trees and it won't mess it up. It won't bend it. The whole idea behind this one is so that I could access everything easier. So I can actually pull this snorkel horn off with this on. And then you can also take the radiator out, as y'all saw, and put it in without even taking any of the bumper apart other than the 6 bolts on this faceplate. And then you can put it back in. So that's really easy to access your fan and, you know, clean the radiator. And it just, I am in love with it. The whole idea for me doing this was, like I said, easier on maintenance, easier to take care of, easier to clean, easier to work around or on it. I got all these burned all the way in. Everything is literally done. All I have to do is make end caps for these, but that is pretty much a completed bumper. And I don't really need to show y'all me welding the end caps on here. I know I skipped around a lot in this video, and that's just because I'm kind of on a time crunch. I have about 3 weeks to get this thing done, and trying to film it and do everything and keep up with my phone being charged, it's just a lot, and it takes twice as long. Like, when these YouTubers say that it takes twice as long to work on something when you're filming it, they're not lying. So I just kind of went in go mode and cranked it out and got it done. But I think it turned out really good. So like I said, it's literally just the 6 bolts. You don't have to worry about a nut on the back side. You just take these out. And I'll probably Loctite these just so they don't rattle loose, because the rib nuts aren't like lock nuts. I'll probably get lock nuts for these because I'll never be taking them off other than the one time just to disassemble it and get it painted. But this is like the easiest thing ever. So you can see I just have those. When it's on there, it looks like they're using it to mount it, but it's not. So all this stays together as one. You clean the radiator, and putting it back on is just as easy as taking it off. I made these holes a little bit bigger than the bolts. That way when it gets painted, hopefully won't have to take a drill bit to it, because I'd like everything to have a coating on it to keep from rust. But everything lines up pretty well. And I was worried about the warpage in it, but I was able to keep a lot of the heat out of it by just using a wet rag as I spot welded all this metal on. Plus, once you tighten it up, it flattens itself out. And nobody will ever know. Except for me and those of you watching this video. Done. So as you can see, it lays very flat on both sides, I'm pretty sure. There might be a little bit of a raise right there, but I can honestly just press that in a little bit. But I mean, just looking at it, unless you're gonna come inspect it, you literally would never know. But that is gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you made it this far, please make sure you like, comment what you think about the bumper. What do you like about it? What do you think I should do differently or should have done differently? As always, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.